Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. It is Monday, January 8th, 2024. And Joe Biden, good old Joey, the geriatric, the puppet, is still the worst president in American history. Folks, I hope you had a lovely weekend. It's great to be back with you here on this fine Monday morning. You are true American patriots, and there's no better community than here on the Bald Brad channel. Question for all of you is, what do you eat for breakfast? Are you coffee people like me? Are you pancakes, a little bit of sausage, maybe some bacon and eggs? I'm going to try and start eating breakfast here in 2024. It's my own campaign to have a few eggs, maybe a little protein shake as well. Get a little healthy for the new year. But let me know, what do you eat for breakfast in the morning? We'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. With that being said, our lead story of the day is the Democrats. Obama, they're all spooked by Trump's political might. They're freaking out, folks. So much so that Obama's stepping in now and trying to correct course for the Biden campaign here. Why? Because they have deep concern for former President Donald Trump's political strength heading into the heart of the 2024 election cycle. You gotta love to see it, folks. This is what we want to see, the Democrats freaking out, but it can't hinder us and it can't stop us from getting out ourselves and voting here in November. The warning came as Obama reportedly met with President Joe Biden. Folks, they got him out of bed. They pulled off his CPAP machine like he was Vader, keeping him alive to talk with Barack Obama, his former vice president, over lunch in December and discussed Biden's re-election campaign. Meet the Press moderator Kristen Welker said on Sunday, quote, underscoring the urgency, one source telling me this is an all hands on deck moment. They don't know what to do. They're scrambling. Why? Because Sleepy Joe doesn't have a clue on not how to just run for a presidency, but to run the country, just like we see from Democrat senators to Democrat mayors and politicians in their local areas, because everything is crumbling around us and we're all supposed to pretend like everything's fine and dandy. Biden and Trump are both seeking a second term in the White House. And if they win their consecutive party nominations or their respective party nominations, they could be up for a 2020 rematch in the general election where nobody shows up for Joe Biden's campaigns. And then everybody shows up for Trump, sold out arenas, thousands of people outside, and somehow Joe Biden gets 82 million votes. Somehow this geriatric that doesn't have a damn idea what the hell's going on gets 82 million votes. Why? Because people are harvesting stuff, election fraud, people voting from houses that don't exist, properties that don't exist, properties that they're not registered to. And, but there's no election fraud. Folks, there's even people out there like Destiny saying there was no election fraud. It was just the smoothest election he's ever seen in his entire life. And he's more of like a middle ground type of guy from what I've seen. Seems to be leaning more towards right on issues. But when I hear a pretty smart dude like that say, well, there's no real election fraud out there. Really? Like, really? We're all going to be there where there's no actual audits being performed, just recounts, and they're calling them audits? You're going to see the same thing here in 2024. Trust me, Democrats are trying to do everything they can. With an article like this, they're going to do everything they can to try to sit there and sway to manipulate stuff, folks. Check this out. Less than a month before the caucuses and primary contests get underway, polls generally show Trump with a slight advantage. Don't let this sway you. Like I said, don't trust these polls. You saw what happened in 2016 with Trump v. Hillary. You saw in 2020 with Trump v. Biden. Now we're going to see the same thing here. It's going to go back and forth, the plus and minuses. Don't let that stop you from getting out a vote. Tell your friends and family, regardless of whatever it shows, get out there and vote. Biden is also grappling with low approval numbers and questions about his fitness to continue serving while in his 80s. One thing I would like to mention, as somebody that watches every single White House press briefing, Joe Biden's age, his lack of cognitive ability, and his physical strength seem to not be challenged in the same way it was when Trump was in office. And I always use this example all the time. Donald Trump was questioned on his stability and his health because his hand was shaking like this slightly. You can't even tell my hand shaking slightly when he was having a glass of water. Joe Biden falls up a flight of stairs, hits a golf ball backwards, falls up another flight of stairs going up, trips over a sandbag at an election, falls off a freaking election, a graduation, falls off a bicycle that's stationary, gets lost all the time, fights with his teleprompter, doesn't know where he's at, shaking people's hands that don't exist, looking for dead people in the crowd, which we've seen time and time again, and nobody's really questioning him in that White House press briefing room. Like we've seen a time here and there from maybe ABC News and Fox News, like Jackie Heinrich, Peter Doocy, and Philip Wegman of Real Clear Politics. But other than that, like, where's like the cognitive tests that were being demanded of Trump when he was president Why is that not even remotely an issue for Joe Biden? So even though Joe Biden's in office, as we know, the media is still rubbing the shoulders of the Democrat Party, like bigly. And wait till things really start kicking off here in the middle of 2024. It's just going to get worse. The Washington Post reported on Saturday that Obama not only got animated in speaking to Joe about the 2024 election, but also suggested to Biden's aides and advisors that the president's re-election campaign needs to be given the full authority to make decisions without getting clearance from the White House. That's insane. And, don't get too lost here in the weeds by Obama getting animated. Folks, whenever you've been dealing with an older person, you got to kind of yell at them. Like, hey, Joey, I'm over here. Where? Joey, I'm right here, buddy. You suck. Your election sucks. Your presidency sucks. So him getting animated, I mean, look, people get animated when somebody has Alzheimer's or isn't aware of where they're at. So he just needs to be more animated to get Joe's attention and keep him awake. So I'm not going to look too much into that. But Biden's aides and advisors at the president's re-election campaign needs to be given the authority to make decisions without clearance of the White House. Do you want to know why? There's an audio I'm pointing towards my head. This isn't working. Make decisions without the president. Dude doesn't have a damn clue what's going on. Holy crap, people still vote for him. Whether the current leaders get empowered or new decision makers get added. During an interview on Sunday with Welker on NBC, Biden's deputy campaign manager stressed that Obama and Biden's team are united in opposing Trump. He's a threat to democracy. These extreme MAGAs, he's going to throw over the republic. January 6th was the worst day in American history. Not slavery, not the KKK, not 9/11 or Pearl Harbor. Like, none of that. It's Donald Trump, where we prospered. Things were great. It's the most peaceful time in American history, practically. Like, everything was going nice. And then you get Democrats in office and everything goes to bleep again. President Obama and President Biden talk frequently, as do the campaign and former operatives from the president administration and his campaign. Look, we've known that for quite some time. We've known for quite some time that Obama's dipping his hands, probably running the country for the Bidens because Joe Biden can't do it. Joe Biden can't make decisions on his own. He needs Barack Obama there, which is why he still calls Barack Obama president and still thinks of himself as vice president. Hell, he calls Kamala Harris president. Why? Because Joe Biden is not running the show. Somebody else is. Well, that was a little bit of good news, I guess. Here's some bad news. We're getting screwed once again here. House and Senate leaders reach spending deal. Now, I'm a fiscal conservative. I am a registered Republican. I hate it. I hate it on a personal level, meaning a micro level, and a macro level when people can't budget for themselves, and then we had a freaking government that can't do the same thing either. And you know what? Johnson touts concessions. He's bragging about it. What, folks? I hope you're sitting down for how much money we're spending here. Now, I'm a person that is a big advocate for our military in our country in terms of government spending money on our military. Check this out. Leaders in Congress announced on Sunday a spending deal that could help avert the start of another governmental shutdown in less than 2 weeks. In a letter to colleagues, our Speaker, Mike Johnson, revealed a fiscal 2024 agreement of $886 billion for defense. You might as well round it up to $1 trillion. And then $704 billion for non-defense. Where is all this money going? Do you want to know where? A lot of people get this question wrong. They go, oh, where? You propose a question. Where does all the money go? Like, if you had to guess, is it military? Is it healthcare and education? People will pick like education or healthcare, something random. Or a lot of people pick like military being the first one. That's probably the number one answer I get is military. No. It's social programs. A lot of this money's probably going to go to social programs. And people can't fathom, well, why are we in debt? Why are we $34 trillion in debt? Because you got politicians on both sides of the aisle that don't give a crap about your pocketbook. They just care about the money that's going into their pocketbooks and how they can spend your taxpayer money on frivolous things like gay dogs and how they interact with other gay dogs. I made that up slightly, but it's not too far from the truth. The top line, 1.6 trillion figure, matches the statutory levels agreed upon in last year's debt ceiling. Cool. How much money of that, how much money of our budget is actually going towards paying down our debt? That's what I'm curious on. Because if you have just $704 billion going for non-defense, like how much of that is going towards paying down our debt? That's what I care about. That and our military. I got no qualms really with $886 billion going towards defense. I would like it a little bit lower. Seems kind of high. Love to know where that money's going as well. because I know there's these black off programs that we don't know what exactly is going on with those. But Johnson touted concessions. Like, he's trying to soften the blow for us, including further slashing funds directed to the IRS service. Look, whatever. I get it. I'm not a fan of the IRS. Nobody is that pays taxes. But what else are we getting out of this? Oh, cutting the Biden administration's billions more dollar in slush funds from the COVID era. Like, he's trying to sit there and mask this as if he got a good deal. We got effed. We got effed, you guys. Again, Republicans suck too. I know we don't want to hear it, but somebody has to call it out here. There's a few conservatives out there who do the same thing. Like Dan Bongino, who I watch a lot. He understands. Tucker Carlson says the same thing. These softy Republicans are effing us. And check this out. And the rejection of accounting gimmicks. Like, come on. Like, be specific here. The agreement today achieves key modifications in the June framework that will secure more than $16 billion in additional spending cuts to offset the discretionary spending levels. You guys, this is all fancy stuff for you're getting screwed. Your tax dollars aren't going to work of which you're going to actually feel, or going to work in which you're going to feel, and we're still going to keep spending money that we don't have. So you think $34 trillion is going to be bad? Well, that's just going to keep increasing, folks. So I hope everybody's excited that they're going to owe a lot of money to the government at some point. If it's not you, it's your children. If it's not your children, it's your grandchildren. If it's not that, then it's your great-grandchildren. Somebody's going to be screwed here, and it's going to be Americans at the end of the day. All the while, don't worry. Illegal immigrants are getting free health care in certain states. Don't worry about that, folks. Oh, and they're getting food and shelter and housing and kicking out veterans out of hotel rooms and all that stuff. They're being taken care of just fine. But who's getting screwed? Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. No, Americans like you and I, we're the ones that are getting screwed constantly, and everybody else is fine and dandy. Ukraine's getting billions of dollars sent to them. It's not just getting them weapons and stuff like that. It's getting their food, education, water, and stuff like that over there. Don't be fooled that those hundreds of billions that's going over there is all for military. No, it's not. Go look where that money's going. That money is not just for weapons, folks. We're practically funding that entire country right now. A country that's full of corruption. Like, if you recall, there is a certain family that's being investigated by Shokin. Not just looking into the Biden family, but also just the corruption in Ukraine as it is. And Joe Biden's just like, I'm going to send them hundreds of billions of dollars of government as well. Well, at least one member of the Conservative Freedom Caucus, Chip Roy, who seems to have his head on straight slightly, voiced dismay with the spending agreement, which is separate from the debate over trying border security reforms to supplemental national funds of U.S. allies such as Ukraine and Israel. The top line in spending is terrible and gives away the leverage accomplished in the already not great caps deal, Roy said in a post on X. We'll wait to see if we get meaningful policy riders, but number one, the National Defense Authorizations Act was not a good preview. And number two, as usual, we keep spending more money we don't have. Thank you, Chip. Thank you for at least reiterating what I was thinking. And I don't know, an average American does this in the closet. What I'm seeing as well in terms of $34 trillion in debt, and we're spending this crap. And then you got idiots like Chuck Schumer here. How this guy's still in office, I don't know. Blame New York people. Quote, by securing the $772 billion for non-defense discretionary funding, we can protect key domestic priorities like veteran benefits. He's going to throw that in there because that's kind of a jab at Republicans, allegedly. Healthcare and nutrition assistance from the draconian cuts sought by right-wing extremists. It's these draconian cuts that right-wings weren't going to cut in the first place, so he's just bold-faced lying here. It's these draconian ideas that the Democrats are actually implementing here, more of authoritarian ideas and socialist ideas of giving everybody free health care and just throwing money willy-nilly into these social programs that make up like 70% of our budget. But no, it's fine. Keep spending until we're all screwed at the end of the day, and nobody's going to remember Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, Ilhan Omar, and all these other idiots like Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Nope. They're not going to be the ones to blame. Somehow Republicans are going to be the ones to blame for all this stuff. Well, speaking of transparency, things to blame coming from the Biden administration to Barack Obama as well. We got Pentagon facing backlash over failing to disclose Secretary Austin's illness and harms credibility. So transparency, once again, from this Biden administration is a bunch of doo-doo, folks. It's a bunch of doo-doo. And you can't really blame the Biden administration for all this, believe it or not. And you'll see why in just one moment. The Pentagon is facing mounting backlash from members of the media, and moreover, their failure to immediately disclose that the defense secretary, Lloyd Austin, was hospitalized on New Year's Day. This dude was in the hospital for like a week in the ICU. Nobody had an effing clue. The media didn't have a clue. The Americans didn't have a clue. Folks, the White House didn't have a clue. It wasn't like the clue, like, Joe Biden, because he's geriatric and he's Alzheimer's, I think, and he just generally doesn't have a clue what's going on. What I mean by that is nobody told the White House that the dude was in the ICU. This is not a big deal. Our defense secretary, not a big deal. Several reporters were outraged over the Pentagon's failure to disclose the fact that Austin was hospitalized until Friday, January 5th. Austin was admitted to the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center on Monday for complications following a recent elective medical procedure. CNN Pentagon correspondent said the delay was unacceptable. Absolutely. Given his position in national security. Writer said the news was kept from the press due to medical and personal privacy issues. You got somebody writing here. This is an administration that talked a big game about transparency, and it has failed this test, not just once, not just twice, since day one. They've been lying to us. They lied to us about Afghanistan, what actually happened there. They lied to us about the classified documents 5 separate times. They lied about the classified documents in Joe Biden's Biden-Pence Center. Joe Biden's Corvette. They found classified documents on the street of Ireland when Joe Biden was there. I mean, what haven't they been lied about and thus weren't transparent when they were supposed to be? I mean, you could turn the corner every week and find an example. So this is where I'm kind of getting more into the fact of you can't necessarily really blame the White House for this when a lot of the blame is on the Pentagon itself for not notifying people, because they notified everybody, I think, Friday at like 5 p.m. on a news dump. And everybody knows the news dumps really, like the news cycle really ends Thursday. Nobody really watches much news on Friday and then Saturday and Sunday. And it kicks up again Monday, really Tuesday. So the news cycle is really from Tuesday to Thursday. They did this on Friday. So check this out. News surfaced on Friday again that Lloyd Austin was hospitalized. And alarming new details emerged on Saturday regarding Austin's sudden hospitalization. The Pentagon did not inform President Biden. So that's where I'm going. Like, I can't really blame Biden himself and the White House. Nobody informed him. And other top officials in his administration, including National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, about Austin's hospitalization for 3 days. Granted, with everything going on with Israel and Hamas, Iran wanting to wipe Western civilization off the face of the earth, China wanting to go into Taiwan, nobody's talked to Lloyd Austin from the White House, the commander-in-chief that kind of, runs the military. Nobody's talked to Lloyd Austin in 3 days. Like, you haven't, like, what the hell? So, don't get me wrong. There's blame to be had on Biden's side. I'm just kind of blown away, like, with everything happening in the world and how we have huge problems. Like, what is Joe doing? Is he not talking to our advisors, or is he talking to John Kirby and Jake Sullivan and Anthony Blinken and maybe Karine Jean-Pierre, who we recently found out doesn't really talk to that much? I don't know. Weird. Austin was admitted to Walter Reed again on Monday following his complications of a serious medical situation, and Sullivan allegedly told Biden about Austin's situation shortly after the Department of Defense made the announcement on Thursday. He was in there for like 3 or 4 days in the freaking ICU. Hey, just wanted to give you a heads up, the guy might die. Oh, where's he been? He's been in the hospital for 3 or 4 days. Oh shit, really? Really? You don't think that the average American would want to know that, or the president of the United States maybe, that Secretary of Defense is kind of MIA, is not capable of actually fulfilling his duties, but you'll have to wait a week later until he actually is able to fulfill his duties. So who's fulfilling his duties while he's not able to? This is the question. So again, transparency not happening any which way from this administration, which I know is typical. I know you guys know this. But check this out. It was a warm conversation. The official stated, the president has complete confidence in Secretary Austin and is looking forward to him being back in the Pentagon. You have complete confidence in somebody that literally held a medical situation, that was hospitalized, wasn't able to carry out their duties from you? You're going to just have confidence in them, full trustworthiness in them? God, this guy's bad. And somehow he might be reelected, folks. He might be reelected as president. Just how bad is he? Biden administration made it easier for Chinese illegal immigrants to come into the U.S. Oh, isn't that just lovely? Because everybody's a good person, you guys. Oh, no. What do you mean? What do you mean not everybody's a good person? I was told by Democrats everybody's a good person. I was told everybody just wants a better life, you guys. They don't want to harm you at all. Not a single one. I heard there was no drugs pouring across the border from China. What are you talking about? Of course I'm being facetious and acting like a complete idiot, because that's what Democrats do. No, there's a ton of fentanyl pouring across the border. And where's it coming from? China. China. So let's just allow more Chinese illegal immigrants to pour across, just like everybody else. At the behest of the Biden administration, Border Patrol agents confronted with Chinese illegal immigrants were forced to give an easier path in the United States for the immigrants, with the agents asking them only 5 questions instead of the roughly 40 they had previously asked. What's your name? Where do you live? Where are you coming from? Male or female? Where do you want to go? There's the 5. That information was revealed in a April 2023 email sent to Customs and Border Protection supervisor to a master list of roughly 500 Border Patrol agents. According to the former law enforcement official who supplied the Daily Caller with this email, smugglers are coached from the beginning of the journey on how to answer questions for them. Oh, lovely. Quote, it was almost immediate where the Chinese illegal immigrants knew what to say and what not to say. The email adds that the illegal immigrants who correctly answered the 5 questions, which concern military service, universities, POB/region, employment, and political party, may be released in the United States. Oh, interesting. Political party there. What the hell does that have to do with anything? Oh, you're Democrat? Ah, come on in. That's actually the first question they ask you. So I guess sometimes maybe they don't even get to all 5. Yeah, who are you voting for? Democrat? Perfect. Come on in. Yeah. Where do you want to go? Oh, Chicago? Perfect. Yeah, we'll ship you up to Chicago. What about New York? You love New York? I hear California's great. Oh, no, California, you're going to love it. Yeah, feces on the street. You're probably used to that, right? Oh, there's garbage people homeless everywhere. You're probably used to that, right? You probably love that. Yeah. No, this is wild. But don't worry, you guys. This whole immigration stuff that's going on where you have 10 million people pouring across the border. According to Karine Jean-Pierre, it's nothing unusual. No, this happens all the time. Just ebbs and flows that we heard. Yeah, she said it was ebbs and flows. It's not unusual. It's just typical migration patterns. You have to be such an idiot to believe that. You have to be so stupid, it is head spinning. Like, you should be a door greeter if that's the case. And not, you know what? I apologize. That's actually an insult to door greeters. I don't know what you could do if you believe that this is just typical migration patterns and ebbs and flows, and that isn't unusual to have 10 million people pour across the border. There isn't a job out there for you. I stand corrected. The job is working for the Democrat Party. You're right. Or just being Karine Jean-Pierre and being the mouthpiece of the leader of the free world. That will work too. All idiots. They're all idiots. This policy change was accelerated. The time it takes to process Chinese illegal immigrants. This doesn't make America safer. Yeah, no shit. Nothing that Biden does makes America safer. What has? You tell me. I don't know. I know all of you are sitting there scratching your head. There's probably a Democrat out there that knows. Probably pull something out of his ass. Nothing Biden's done has made us safer. Look at the world on how chaotic everything is. Nothing was like this under the Trump administration because everybody knew Trump wasn't effing around. Everybody knows Joe Biden sleeping with a CPAP machine, getting lost, having his wife show from around, shaking, looking for dead people in the freaking crowd. So now we got freaking Chinese illegal immigrants pouring across. Could be spies, sleeper cells. We don't know who the hell they are. I'm not trying to be rude to Chinese immigrants. But if you're coming here illegally, there's a lot of people in line. I don't know why you get to come in. And here's the question. If they're seeking asylum, what's this asylum that they're exactly seeking? I was told China's great. Listen to Joe Biden. Listen to Democrats. China's a wonderful country. It's so wonderful. Why are they pouring across over here then? Well, in some kind of local news-ish, ChickfilA prices are surging. I mean, folks, I just went grocery shopping yesterday. I almost had a heart attack. You guys, I'm not one to spend money on frivolous stuff. I'm not buying Crustables and ice cream. I buy turkey. You know what I mean? I buy rice. I buy veggies like potatoes and eggs. I know those aren't veggies, but eggs. I'm buying essential stuff. I don't even buy bread. You guys, it was $240. And I'm buying the store brand. Stuff is insane. And you go out to eat. It's not any cheaper. Remember when there was a time in 2008 during the recession, it was actually cheaper to feed a family at McDonald's than it was to actually go to the grocery store and buy food? Well, under Joe Biden here, prices go through the roof. So watch how much things have increased since Joe Biden's been in office. Wallet. Feeling the pinch after eating your most recent sandwich from Chick-fil-A, which Chick-fil-A is good. You're not alone. A new report says prices for the fast food giant's signature item have increased 21% over 2 years. Newsweek compiled data from the food truck empire, which said the chicken chain first increased prices from its classic chicken sandwich by 15% in 2022. And the menu-wide 6% increase in January 2023. And I want you to see here what they say the reason for the cause is, and I'm going to get to the real reason as to what's going on here. For those ordering the menu item the chain is most well known for, the total's a hefty increase. So what's the cause? Let's actually see what they say the cause is here. And mind you, this is Fox News Business. Rising costs of ingredients, packaging, and transportation due to inflation added to supply chain disruptions. Aaron Anderson, the CEO and founder of the franchise consulting firm, told Newsweek, folks, it's BS. The labor costs have increased. And if you remember, Joe Biden stood on the podium and his whole objective was to outcompete the private sector with the government, which is why he inflated the economy and he pumped the economy full of trillions of dollars. And his response to all this was, oh, well, now the bargaining chip is in the hands of the employee. Really, Joe? Because now you just effed everybody by pumping the economy full of trillions of dollars, giving everybody these checks left and right. And now the cost of goods and services has also gone through the roof. Why? Because people can afford it because they supposedly have the money. Why? Oh, because these local areas say they don't have a living wage. And so now to put a cooked piece of meat into 2 patties, they want $20 an hour. So what you have here is actually skilled. Takes brains, stays here. Takes no brains, meaning work at Chick-fil-A. No, nothing wrong with working at Chick-fil-A. I'm just saying it's a low-skilled job. Goes here. So those at the top end of the market who actually have a degree like accounting or lawyers, people that actually noggins, statisticians, mathematicians, doctors, that type of stuff, their salaries aren't really changing that much. People at fast food going, well, I need a living wage. $20 isn't enough to put a piece of meat between 2 buns. You didn't make the bun. You didn't make the cheese. You didn't make the lettuce. You didn't make shit. You just took it and put it together. And they want $20 or more for that. I know I'm screaming at you, but damn it. Which is why a lot of this stuff's being automated. We covered that here on the Ball Brad Show. There is stores moving to full-blown automation where the robot makes the fries, it makes the burgers, because these people don't understand they're pricing themselves out of the market to the point where you're not going to have a fast food job anymore. Or a limited one. So that's what they're saying this all is. It's not. It's labor and it's Joe Biden. Higher prices can lead to reduced frequency of visits or spending per visit by consumers, which is going to jack the price up as well. Some may switch to lower price alternatives. However, Chick-fil-A's strong brand loyalty might mitigate this impact to an extent. No, not for long. I think for the short term, they are correct in that assessment. I think for the short term, people want to enjoy Chick-fil-A. They have a brand loyalty to it, absolutely. But loyalty only goes so far when rent is due. When rent is due, things change a lot. Restaurants are also spending more on wages. There you go, Fox Business getting it right. And benefits to workers, Anderson, meaning a rise in labor costs. But Democrats, they don't understand this. And then, you know what floors me? Random side tangent. You know what floors me is Democrats will complain about the prices of goods and services in their area, of which they helped exacerbate by increasing the cost of labor for those goods and services. And then they bitch about it. In the same way, they want increase in taxation. And then as me, that used to be a tax accountant, does their taxes, I'm doing a Democrat's taxes, they're complaining about paying so much in taxes. Yes. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. No, you're right on track here. Idiots. That's what it asks down to. You increase taxes and then you complain about the increase in taxes. You ask for more money in the labor market for fast food. And then when fast food is more expensive and you can't baffle and wrap your head around the fact that your standard of living didn't go up all that much because now you're paying more for the same goods and services that we are because you wanted more money, you're just back into a vicious cycle again. They can't wrap their head around it, you guys. This isn't like rocket science, but they can't wrap their head around it. So when, like I said, you increase taxation, they're bitching and complaining because they don't have enough money. Yes, because it's going to all the social programs that we just saw in our first segment, you knuckleheads. Not you guys, but you know what I'm talking about, the libs out there, because they don't get it. Food prices surged 2.9%, but don't worry, Joe Biden has everything handled, folks. He's losing sleep over this stuff, according to Karine Jean-Pierre. In 2022 to 2023, the government agency said in November of 2023 that a family of 2 adults and 2 children spends an average of $1,000 a month on food. $1,000 a month on food. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I take that as a grain of salt. As somebody was going shopping yesterday, knowing that I was going to do this article I was looking at what people are buying. There's a reason why I said Crustables. There's a reason why I said ice cream. Is because I'm seeing people buy not the essentials and they complain about their bill. Now, I follow Dave Ramsey, like to a T. I don't have any debt. I sit there and budget. I have the budgeting app every dollar. I don't spend more than what I have. I don't use a credit card. And mind you, I don't make a lot of money, you guys. Please don't feel like I'm killing it in life. I am not. I eat turkey and rice for a reason. I can't afford all this stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I live frugal because I have to live frugal. But I'm seeing people that should be living frugal as well, buying ice cream, chips, cereal. I don't see any eggs. I don't see any milk or bread or anything like that. I see Crustables. I see these Tyson chicken, like all this stuff. Well, no wonder. No wonder. Like, I get it. It's a pinch. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, well, we got to appease the kids. At what cost? At least they're being fed. At least they're being fed. Well, there you have it, folks. Your dollar is worth nothing. And before you used to be able to go to fast food and actually purchase a nice good amount of meal and food for your kids and your husband or your wife, and you can't even do that anymore with Joe Biden in office. Isn't that just lovely? Well, don't expect anything to change with Democrats in office, but Democrats will. Democrats will, because they're idiots. Moving into some other stuff, we talked about the whole immigration thing with Chinese illegal immigrants pouring across the border and asking them, well, what party do you affiliate with? Well, I vote Democrat. Perfect. Come on in. Well, check this out. Wisconsin City asks Biden for help. And the kicker here is they're asking for help for 1,000 migrants. 1,000 migrants. Texas sees this in 30 minutes. Oh, it's putting a great strain on our resources. God, dude. Folks, if you're enjoying the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. If you're writing in the live chat, as much as I love you writing in the live chat, and I do appreciate that, it doesn't necessarily help the show in terms of the algorithm. They want you to write in the comment section. So just copy and paste that bad boy, throw in the comment section. It helps us tremendously. And you watching the video all the way through does yeoman's work. If you skip it, it messes with the algorithm. If you watch it a second time, that helps me out greatly as well. Just hit the refresh page, and we would love your support. So Texas is seeing 10,000 a day, 6 to 10,000 in that range. Wisconsin gets 1,000, and they're complaining. Look, a small city in Wisconsin is appealing to the White House for help with the influx of approximately 1,000 migrants who have come since 2022. You guys, it's 2024. It's crippling our infrastructure. With issues ranging from housing to crime affecting the small community. I was told illegal immigrants don't commit crime. I told everyone's just coming for a nice, better life. A nice, better life. None of them. Huh. That's so weird. Why would you have a rise in crime with this stuff happening here? I was told by Joe Biden, the Democrats, that they're all good people. None of them are violent gang members or sex offenders or murderers. I was told all 100% are fine, you guys. There's no reason to bet these people. City leaders of Whitewater, is that Whitewater? The screen's far from me. Forgive me, folks. I know I sound like Joe. Is that Nancy? Wisconsin. Sorry. Is that what is that? Check my mom pressure. Wisconsin has prepared a letter to President Biden. I make myself laugh. I got to entertain somebody here. I know. Hopefully you're entertained. Saying that they have seen a rapid increase in the population of immigrants arriving from Nicaragua and Venezuela. Now, to give you a little bit of a callback here on Venezuela, these Venezuelans that were coming in illegally were being bused to like Chicago and New York City and places like that, these Democrat-ran cities. And these Democrat-ran cities are ran so poorly where these people that were supposedly, allegedly fleeing like a war-torn country, right? Devastation, climate change, global warming just completely sat there and shellacked their country. So they fled it to go to greener pastures. They go to Democrat-ran areas and they're looking around going, this is bad. I mean, this is a bleep hole. I'm out of here. And they go back to their own country. No, that's not me saying it. That's Venezuelans saying that illegal immigrants are going back to their home country because it's so bad. I know. It's real, though. It's real. It sounds satire. It sounds satirical, but it's real. So check this out. Quote, each individual has a different reason for coming here. Some are fleeing from a corrupt government. Oh, there you go. Others are simply looking for a better opportunity to prosper, which isn't grounds to come here illegally, by the way. Regardless of the individual situations, these people need resources like anyone else. And their arrival has put a great strain on our existing resources. What does that mean? Oh, you don't have the tax dollars for it. You didn't budget for this. So your hard-earned money, rather than going to maybe veterans or cleaning up the streets, sweeping up all the dog crap and the human feces that's everywhere and sanitizing things and building new roads and bridges and making things, I don't know, actually look nice here in America. it's going to people that shouldn't be here in the first place, illegal immigrants. Now, I want these people to be able to come here through a vetted process of a system that is already built. I'm not saying it's the best system, but what gives you the right to cut in front of somebody else? And you gotta love these Democrats at the same time. They're at Disneyland or even the grocery store or whatever. You know, they're standing in line, but when somebody cuts them, where they've been waiting only 10 minutes for some bogus food item or some ticket that they want to purchase, they get all pissed off. But now extrapolate to somebody who's been sitting in line for 10 freaking years to become a citizen, has paid all this money, and all of a sudden there are 4 people just cutting the line. Well, they want a better life. Yeah, so does the fucking other guy that's been waiting in line, you asshole. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? You don't think there's other people that are trying to flee corruption, looking for a better opportunity, that are doing the thing the right way, but you just think you're that much better that you get to come here fucking illegally? It's asshole. It's an asshole. I'm sorry, it is. It's easy for me to say, granted, I'm here, but look, my family came here legally. I'm a family of immigrants legally. But you get to screw over everybody else? Yeah, you're an asshole. I'm sorry, you are. I understand. You want to come here for a better life. I get it. I get it. I get it. But that doesn't make your situation better than anybody else's that's trying to flee corruption from other places. There's a lot of terrible places. That's why everybody wants to come here. But you want to know who just shits on America all the time? Democrats. It's a racist country. It's so corrupt. Oh, authoritarianism, socialism, all this other stupid stuff. Then why does everybody want to come here? Why? What are they fleeing from if everything's so great? If there's a country that great, which country's better than America? Dems, you libs? Which one? Tell me. Then why are you not fucking moving there? Sorry for cussing, folks. I know you got kids in the car. But am I wrong? If you're going to shit on this country and you don't think it's the best country on earth, you think it's so bad. I don't think it's bad. I think predominantly it's really freaking great. I think Democrats are destroying it. But other than that, it's the best country by far. There's nothing even remotely better than this country here. Am I not right? But somehow these Dems show up, these libs. This is so terrible. It's the worst country. It's just white supremacy. Just racist everywhere. Good thing, get the hell out. If you think there's racist everywhere, go to a non-racist country and let me know how that one works out for you. This is the least racist country. The least racist country. Go to another one and let me know how it works out for you. You know, matter of fact, why don't you try to illegally go into another country and let me know how it works out for you, libs? You can't. You can't even go to fucking Canada. But here, it's just, oh, let everybody in. Oh, your family got massacred by an illegal immigrant. They cut all their heads up. Oh, God. Well, they just wanted a better life. Oh, your son died from a fentanyl overdose that came through China from the southern border. Oh, well, you know, it's the Chinese care about you. They just want a better life, too. Everybody cares. Nobody wants to harm you or your family, not one iota. Oh, God, there's a possible terrorist attack. God, not a big deal. Oh, 300 known terrorists apprehended at the border while Joe Biden was just in office last 3 years, so 100 a year. Doesn't count the gotaways. That's not a big deal. No, they care about us. They're not going to hurt you. I'm so tired of these idiots, man. It's frustrating as hell, folks. It's frustrating. If you haven't picked up yourself a mug, folks, they're pretty cheap. I don't remember how much they are, but we're not making any money off of it. Basically get it for, I don't want to say free, but you're just paying for basically the manufacturer to make it. I don't get any profit from it, but get yourself a mug, have a nice cup of coffee. Some of you might need a drink after this. I'm riling you up, huh? You know you're getting riled up. I'm riled up, but there's no way. Look, the way I look at it is we're patriots here. We love this country. We're all in the same boat together, the same swamp that was created by the Democrat Party, and, you know, some of the Republican Party as well. But it's important to get this out here. And look, I find it nice because I get to hang out with all of you, like-minded people that love this country, and we're all pissed about the same thing. Do you know what I mean? We're all frustrated over the same stuff. And it's a constant theme here that we're seeing from Democrats time and time again, destroying this country from the inside out. So much so we wrote an entire book on it. Links in the description. Trojan Horse, How the Left Destroys America. Still timely. It's going to be timely until Democrats turn it around. That ain't going to happen. So this book's going to be timely, I guess, forever. But it's just nice to have a community here that I get to vent to, that hopefully you have some sort of confirmation bias in a way of seeing, oh, I'm not the only person that actually sees the crap that's going on here. And I'm glad somebody else is just as irate as I am, that's passionate about this country and wants things to be better for everybody. Tell you who doesn't. Joe Biden. Good old Joey. Well, here in our next bit of news, a stain on our society, record number of police shot in 2023. Oh, that's just lovely. You know, it's amazing how these libs, these lefties, specifically Democrats as well, are just complaining about the number of unarmed black men that were shot in the streets. And to give you a perspective, we talk about this in the book. There was a survey that was done, I want to say it was like in 2020 maybe, when all these riots from Black Lives Matter was going around. And they were surveyed on, hey, how many people do you think are being hunted down in the streets, meaning unarmed black people are being hunted down in the streets by police officers and killed? I kid you not. This isn't a book. This is why you guys got to read it. We do a whole chapter on discrimination, disparities, and stuff like that, and just police shootings and stuff. I go back, I did all the research, 60 plus years of research. They're going, well, I think 10,000 people. There was a good number of people that thought the police were hunting black people in the streets, unarmed black men, and killing them in numbers of 10,000. Do you guys want to know what the number was in 2019? It was 18. 18 unarmed black men. I think it was just black people. It wasn't even unarmed black men, I think. I have to reach back in my memory. And mind you, some of those were grabbing the gun of the police officer, so grounds to be shot, or they were trying to run a police officer over with a vehicle, which is grounds to be shot. So just because they were unarmed doesn't mean that they weren't violently trying to kill another police officer. But you have these idiots out here going, oh yeah, 10,000 people are being hunted in the streets. They're idiots. They don't. This doesn't work. They're voting. That's why we got to get out and vote. We got to vote way bigly. You folks, 2024 needs to be way bigger than it was in 2020. So let's check this out. I haven't read this yet. There was a record-breaking number of law enforcement officers shot in the line of duty in 2023, according to a report from the National Fraternal Order of Police. I didn't even know there was a thing like that. In 2023, there was 370 officers shot, a 60% increase. Oh, Jesus. This goes back to 2018 when they started tracking this stuff. The data also showed that 46 police officers were killed. You can't help but think about these men and women's families. Some of these people were fathers and mothers trying to protect their community, and they were killed by some sort of savage out there. It pisses me off because I back the blue, man. I back the blue. It breaks my heart, man. Honest to God, it does. My family were cops. That's why some of them stopped becoming cops. It's true. People don't like cops. If I told the guys in my community, I said, look, if you want food, if you want a cup of coffee, come to my house. You could park outside, free security for me. I will make you a full course meal. I'll give you coffee for free, whatever you want. You take care of the blue, folks. If you see a service member, you see a cop in your neighborhood, you stop them, have a gift card ready in your wallet, give them a Starbucks gift card. We gotta let these people know there's people out there, and it's Republicans and conservatives predominantly that want to back them. So offer them, say, hey, you know what? If you guys want a meal, get your buddies, pull out up front, or if you want to invite them into your home, and give them food or give them a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? These guys work hard. Their lives are on the line here, and I mean that in all honesty. We got to sit there and support these guys and gals. Last year, over 330 police officers were shot in the line of duty. Shot. That doesn't include people trying to get stabbed, right? Trying to violently attack beat the shit out of them. With the COVID-19 pandemic behind us, and after so many Americans have seen the tragic consequences of defund the police movement, which is by the Democrats, it was our hope that these numbers would be a higher watermark. This comes from FOP President Patrick Yos. We were wrong. I'd be curious to see where a lot of these officers are being shot from. Like what cities is actually going on here. And I want to see if it actually says it anywhere in here where they're mostly seeing this stuff. I'm not seeing it. I'll have to do more research on that, on the communities of which a lot of these law enforcements are being shot and killed. But, defund the police. No, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And this is the same party, by the way, that not only wanted to defund the police, but they also wanted to sit there and get rid of guns for law enforcement officials to go to these disturbances and try to fix it without a gun. As if nobody's going to lose their shit with a knife or something else that might harm you. So it says here, 60% increase in officers shot since 2018, 115 ambush attacks that resulted in 138 officers shot. That's a lot. And 46 officers murdered by gunfire. So basically the ambushes, right? You could be sitting there doing a police report and a guy coming up and just shooting you in the head, which we've seen before. Or like in my local area, this must have happened like 20 years ago. An officer in Hawaiian Gardens was getting out of his vehicle. Guy showed up with a shotgun and blew his head off. That's why we got to sit there and take care of police. And, it's not just our police dying in the streets. It's also our kids and our families. There's a massive fentanyl crisis destroying our country, and our leaders couldn't care less. This is an opinion piece there by Daily Wire. But the reason why I want to bring this up is, if you recall, we did an episode on Sunday, yesterday, showing downtown is for drug users. Pro-drug use campaign appears at San Francisco amid record overdose deaths. I just want to bring this to light. We had a phenomenal episode yesterday. If you guys have not seen it, after this episode is done, I'll try to remember to leave a card above. Check that episode out. It is freaking hilarious. I want to end on a good note here. Because look, we're all pissed. We're all amped right now. Some of us have coffee. I'm telling you, some of you are drinking Baileys. You got to. Some of you are drinking whiskey. If you're an alcoholic or a recovering addict, don't do it. Look, we're all supporting each other here. You got to get through something with Biden in office. Some of you get it by watching the show, but the show yesterday was a banger, man. Very rarely do I emphasize like, hey, you got to go watch this episode. It's a good episode. Yesterday, it was it. A lot of you even said in the chat, great episode, good stuff. We'll try to keep that going. But I just want to bring to light here this one thing that just got me. It's still funny. It's still funny. So if you didn't see yesterday's episode, like I said, go check it out. But basically, there's people promoting drug use. They're advocating drug use in San Francisco. And they say this, downtown is for drug users. Yeah, we buy drugs and do drugs here. A lot of us don't have housing. So we don't have a choice in the matter. So instead of housing yourself and making your life better, like, we might as well just do drugs. So they're advocating for drugs in San Francisco. Like, just open about it. They want drug use, and they have the balls to sit there and say, oh, well, it's not hurting your business or the economy. Really? There's a reason why businesses are fleeing, you idiots, out of San Francisco. There's a reason why entire malls are shutting down. They can't afford the security costs and the insurance for all this stuff. These people are voting. Like I said, these people are voting. Folks, you have to check out the episode. I'm telling you, it's a banger, and it's a good one to end off with for this Monday. Banger of a show. Hopefully we have 46 minutes. You know, if we had advertisements, we would be able to fill in the hour here. Love hanging out with y'all. Again, don't forget, we have a website, baldbrad.com. We have a book, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. For sure can get on Amazon. I saw it was 50% off. You might want to see if that deal is still going. 50% off on hardcovers. It was like $17.23 or something, which is insane. There was only 20 left in stock, so I guess people are buying it up off Amazon. I saw 20 left in stock. I was like, holy crap. And I know a couple people did buy it, so it was actually lower than that. So go to Amazon, check that out. Link is in the description. You can get it at Barnes & Nobles. I think you have to order through the website at Barnes & Nobles now. It's not in stores. And then same with Walmart. It's not in stores anymore, so you have to go to the website of Walmart to see if you can purchase it as well. It might be at your local bookstore, though. I know people are buying them up as well. And then we do have merchandise at baldbrad.com. Mugs. I would love for you guys to join me, have a cup of coffee in the morning through a Bald Brad Show mug. Some of you are buying those up. I really do appreciate your support. Let's hope for a banger of a year here in 2024. It's an election year, folks, and Democrats are destroying this country from the inside out. I know you already know that. I know I'm repeating myself, but I want to emphasize this. Joe Biden is the worst president in American history, and that says a lot right there, because Obama used to be. Joe Biden's just done some harm here. And the thing is, you guys, this harm is going to be extrapolated out. With all these illegal immigrants, 10 million people, you're not telling me there isn't 400 terrorists, 200? So the crappy thing is we can have Trump in office and things could still go south and not his fault. But who's going to blame him? Be prepared. Somebody clip this and mark this. January 8th, 2024 here, I don't know, 740 something, 750 something. Look, how do I say this? They're going to blame Trump. The media is going to blame Trump for all the bad that's going to evolve under his administration. It's not going to be great. I don't even know if Trump could do it in 4 years, to be honest. He has a lot of work to do because Joe Biden has done such a disaster to this country, worse than Obama, such a disaster to this country. I don't know if Trump could do it in 4 years, but we need him nonetheless. So with that being said, leave us a comment down below. If you could, guys, could you watch the show over again, maybe a little bit later today, and just watch it all the way through? Pop it on mute, walk away, put it on your phone, just walk away or whatever. It does support the show. We are trying to grow here. I'm trying to get to 100,000. That's the goal. You are all awesome. You support me. I love it. Thank you so much. If you want to be extremely generous in Biden's economy, we do have a join tab over here. There's not many perks to it. It's just you wanting to get back to what you feel like you're getting out of the show. I think it's $4.99 and then $9.99 a month or something like that. If you want to go crazy, don't feel like you have to. We're not pushing it on you or anything like that. It's just if you feel like you're getting a lot out of the show and you want to support a conservative, that's there for you. It all goes back into the show, advertising and stuff like that. So with that being said, folks, love you. I will see you tomorrow here on another episode of the Bald Brad Show. Head over to Spooky Adventures, folks. Supernatural Saturdays is on its own channel now. Spooky Adventures, link is in the description as well. And I'll see you tomorrow here on the Bald Brad Show.